Ready? Oh man. Woo! Okay.
Yeah. On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million selling that someday. You know I'm in the rhythm when I ride this way. Put me in the pound when I bite this game. Bitch, I'm an animal. Eating these rappers, I swear I'm a cannibal. About to fulfill all my dreams, I'm a fiend. I've been plotting and scheming, this shit is obscene. I rise on fleek, what in the fuck does all that even mean? Seems like we're scared about what others perceive, but let me be straight up, this shit is for me. Me, this shit is for me. Bitch, verbatim, working all day, these games I'm playing. Killing every shitty rapper, motherfucker slam. Let them all know I'm about to win it when they bum my shit right now. Right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town right now. Ain't nobody fucking with the sound right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town my shit right now. Right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town right now. Ain't nobody fucking with the sound right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town my shit right now. Yeah. Right now.
So, I bought an R8. Okay, not really, I didn't buy an R8, but for the purpose of this video, I will be driving an R8. It is the V8, the 4.6 liter, I believe. Well, I've got a lot to learn and a lot to say about this car, so let's get started. All right, Jesus Christ. It's basically touching the floor. I won't lie, this is probably one of the more expensive cars that I've ever driven. I started up a Lamborghini at a car show one time on accident. Oh my. All right, well, this is a thing. It's only got about 8,000 miles on it. The V8, not the V10. There's a relatively large price gap between the V8 and the V10. I think it's about a $20,000 price gap, at least when buying used. Now, one thing I can notice right off of the bat about this car is that you can really feel that that dual clutch that Audi puts in these cars. You can really feel it like working, and I don't mean like it's clunky or anything like that, but you can tell how it works. You know, it's not mechanical at all. It feels so like liquidy. It's got a very weird feel to it. And we're not gonna get crazy with this car because God, I can't afford any more speeding tickets. The seats, the motherfucking seats, dude, are just ridiculous. They literally scoop your butt into like this little pan. And instantly I feel uncomfortable driving this car. And not because it's not a comfortable car to drive, but because I'm in an R8. A woman in her trailer could go, that'd be great. I don't mean it's not a comfortable car to drive. I mean, like, this car is about $100,000, depending on which models you buy and whatnot. And I'll have to talk a little bit more with the owner about it to be able to tell me exactly about the details, which I will put in the video. All types of uncomfortable right now. And I think it's because the Audi R8 is that gap. It's that gap past like middle class America. Once you acquire an R8, you've passed that gap into middle class America. You've gone from middle class America to lower upper class, and the looks I'm getting right now, everybody's looking at me left and right. And that's one of the things you get from an R8 is that you get looks. It's one of those cars. Like, fuck you, old dude. I'm in an R8. Look, him and his wife smiled at me. I'm gonna have so much fun driving this thing, I think. It's a very strange feeling to drive this car. Oh, okay, what's up? Hello. So the interior itself is like just incredible. It's really just, it's strange. It's a very strange looking interior. It's almost, I almost get that like, God, how can I say this without pissing people off? It's a very like 90s Toyota shape. Everything's just kind of like angled towards the driver, and a lot of cars nowadays are following this, you know. If you go back to like the Supra, for instance, the 95s Supra, like the 90s Supras, kind of get this look to them where everything's angled towards the driver, like, hey, fuck the passenger. This is all about the driver and his experience. And it's kind of like, it's kind of weird. You feel selfish. It's like, mine, this is all mine. You get a seat, this is all mine. So I kind of dig that feeling. It's like you spend $100-something thousand on a car. You want it to feel like, hey, this is my fucking car. Did you really just cut off an Audi R8? And that's the kind of feeling I get while I drive this car. It's like, do you understand what I'm driving right now? I get a very showboaty feel to it. Look at me. Look at me, I'm in an Audi R8. Look at me. Man! And it's crazy because the guy who owns this car, my friend Larry, who owns the vehicle, is not like that at all. It's super chill guy. As a matter of fact, if you remember the video where I raced an M4 with my leader bike, that was him. Okay, I can get behind that. go ahead and turn that sport mode off. No, how do I turn you off? There you go. Stay off. The seats themselves are kind of, like I said, buckety. They'll put your ass in like a kind of a cup position where you're almost forced to like sit in this weird way. Obviously the Civic ahead of us wants to fuck around, and I'm just not willing to do that right now. I feel like I don't belong. This car is not for my people. Get it up high in the RPM so we can do a good pull. Oh no, I need to get out of this car. The power band on this car is just solid. There's no stopping it. Everyone knows what this car is too. It does kind of look like someone took a Volkswagen Beetle and squashed it and stretched it out. Like, it does have that look to it. But I mean, at the same time, like, there's no doubt about this car that it's expensive. It's got a very whiny sound. Like, you can hear parts, you know, you hear things moving mechanically. This is not, I've said it a couple of times already, I believe, where, you know, this doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's trying. It feels like it's just like things moving. It's not like a mechanical sound. Like, you don't hear clutch plates rattling, and you don't hear this, that, and the other. All right, you ready? Oh man. Woo! Okay. All right. Yes, that is a thing. I think the real argument about this car is that, you know, like I said, it's the V8, it's the poor man's V10. And that's not to down Larry or V8 owners. It's just that, you know, like I said, there's a huge price gap between it. If you want to own an Audi R8 and not have a V10, then you're obviously looking for more of like a budget, I guess. And it's understandable. Like, it makes sense why you wouldn't want to buy the V10, but at the same time, V10. Larry said that they would sometimes shift the car into neutral because of safety reasons or something like that. So like, randomly the car will shift itself into neutral because Audi. That is an old Mach 1. Stop it. Now, what I will say about this, and that's probably because this is the V8 and not the V10, is that after you get past that gentle acceleration, because all-wheel drive and whatnot, after you get past that beginning of acceleration, it seems to almost disappoint you. You're like, yes, please, can I have another? So the initial acceleration is just, it's so intoxicating that the rest of the car feels lame. You want more, like, yes sir, can I please have some more? May I have some more? And it's almost as if the V8 is like, no, you cannot have some more. Aha, okay, here's a question now. What's more intensive? An old Mustang Mach 1 or an Audi R8? What is gonna draw more attention? God, that sound would be incredible. If you were to put some aftermarket pipes on this thing, I bet this would be one of the most insane sounding vehicles in the world. The steering is just so ridiculously stiff. Car handles great, but gosh, the steering is just a pain. I'm guessing it's because it's all-wheel drive. And another thing that makes me uncomfortable about driving this vehicle is the constant attention that you're getting. It'd be similar to driving a Lamborghini, I think. Especially in an area like where I live. It's a lower income, so I can only imagine just the type of comments that people are saying themselves, and it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not sure if I could own an R8 responsibly. I can barely own a Camaro responsibly. And I think for that reason, I would never want one, just because I know that I would be that kid. I would be that guy all the time. I would be the generic R8 driver. And that's why Larry is such a good, and that's what's good about Larry, is that he's not like that. Like, yeah, he'll race or whatever, but he'll put it around town, he won't rag it out, you know. There's no real comfortable way to drive this car. You know, it's like, it squishes your back into like a pinched area to where you only really feel comfortable with both hands on the wheel. The dead pedal is at a really awkward angle where you're like, oh, I guess I'll put it there. Or like here, this is the only alternative, but then your leg is constantly rubbing up against this door handle here, and the seats are so buckety, it like forces you to like sit in a scrunchy position, like you're trying to poop. It's not, like I said, it's not an uncomfortable car to drive, but it's certainly not a car that I would take longer than an hour and a half ride at the most. Cruising around town in this car doesn't seem like it'd be fun. Like, the fact that I'm not on a track right now pisses me off. Like I said, the steering is stiff, and that's because, you know, all-wheel drive. But it also handles completely different than any car that I've ever driven. Even when I drove my buddy's GTR, it didn't feel the same way. You know, it very much felt like...
Red light camera ahead.
Why, thank you, whoever said that. Space people in my car.
Reached your marked location.
Did I? I wasn't aware that I was going anywhere. Thank you. Oh, it's the zapper. That's cool. And I'm getting looks from people around me, and it makes me feel targeted. And I think that's another part of just that's just your life. Like, if you have an R8, that's how you have to live your life. I don't think it's a daily driver. To be honest, I don't find it to be a daily driver, just specifically for the fact that you can't park it in places that you wouldn't have a bunch of people taking photos of your car, especially in an area like this. Oh, there's a state trooper right there. Gotta take it easy. Oh.
K-band.
K-band. That is a thing. Shut up. Shush. I can't see fucking shit. I thought the Camaro was bad. No, this car is bad. While the windows are a little bit taller than my Camaro, the blind spots are incredible. And the back window is maybe this wide. Well, because there's a goddamn engine right there, that's why. Now this is aggravating. Being in this car in slow traffic, that's aggravating. I'll be honest, I did not follow the Audi R8 hype. Wasn't a big R8 fan. But after driving the R8, I get it. Like, I understand it now. I feel the way this car feels. And I can understand why it's such an attractive car to people. So let me cover some things that I've feeling but I don't really like about it, and some things that I do like about it. First of all, the things that I don't like about it, like I said, the accelerator isn't exactly responsive. It's really weird. It's got like this gap, this like weird gap between it where you can push it in so far and it'll start to react, but it's not confirmed. Like, it doesn't, no, not yet, not yet, not yet, ah! It's almost a dead portion. It's got a dead zone where it doesn't really want to engage for a good bit, and it won't even start to go. Second, like I said, the steering is just stiff. You can't, it requires effort, and I know that sounds like, oh, well, duh. But it requires almost too much effort for me to really, like, I feel like I need to fucking go work out more. I feel like I really need to work out more after driving this car. Like, I'm not strong enough to turn. It's just an awkward seating position for the driver. I'm sure that the passenger is not much different. Will you hush? The driver doesn't really have a comfortable spot. It's like, well, everything is directed towards the driver. Look at me, it's an R8, it's all about me. There's still not really a comfortable place to rest yourself. You know, the windows are just too high to where your arm won't, like, there's no ledge for you to set your arm down. Like, the fuck, your leg, it's whatever, my leg keeps going numb. This isn't a car for road trips. You barely have room for a second person. Now, I bet this car will take this sharp turn up here very smoothly. Oh, I can actually accelerate during this turn. Don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. Now, normally in my Camaro, when I take that turn at about 55 miles an hour, anywhere between 45 to 55 miles an hour, it kind of feels like your spleen is gonna rip out. The G's that you're pulling feel significantly more. This car sits a lot lower than my car, which I thought that my car sat low as fuck, to be real with you guys. I thought that my car was a pretty low sitting car. But I realized that is no longer the case. My car is a fucking monster truck compared to this car. So I like the way it handles. That's a real big benefit to me. Or the way it handles is insane. You feel like you're pulling absolutely no G's in your turns. It's very smooth. The suspension, for a car this low with this type of performance, I was almost certain that the suspension was going to destroy my anus on every bump. And that's not the case. The car sits very comfortably as far as suspension goes. I've been hitting bumps left and right. Just purposely hitting curbs and bumps left and right. I'm joking. But I have hit a few bumps because the island sucks. The road sucks out here. And the suspension, like, I feel so cushioned as far as the suspension goes. Like, I'm not dying for every bump I hit. So there's that. It's got real comfortable. Something else, the interior is glorious. Like, it's made exactly how you think an R8 interior would be made. You know, it's not cheap. It's got suede roof. It's got leather everything else. Like, it's nice. If I wanted to put a gun in here, I don't know where I'd put it. I'd have to hide it in my rectum for me to be able to fit a gun in this car. All right, let's see about the visor. Absolutely useless. Try that stereo system. I don't know. I already don't know how to work the stereo, so don't care. I really do keep forgetting that there's just literally an engine right there. Oh, there's the radio. I found the CD changer. In the most fucking useless place a CD changer could go. By the way, if you haven't figured out, this is kind of a review. My buddy Larry asked me to review his car, not just like, hey, drive around and record it for a couple of hours, you know? I don't know what you plan on doing with this car, but some twin turbos and a nice exhaust would be real nice. This car is visually stunning at any aspect. Even looking at this car and knowing that it's a 2009, you're like, wow. Think about a 2009 Ford Mustang, what a 2009 Ford Mustang looks like, okay? Think about what a 2009 Corvette looks like. Now, just think about your favorite car. Think about what a 2009 anything looks like, your favorite car. Whether it be a Corvette, or a Mustang, or a GTR, like think about all those. Now compare it to what this car looks like today. Not even on the same level. For that, I really commend Audi. This is the nicest Volkswagen I have ever driven.